We need to order.
Yeah, okay, good.
We on time.
It's 8:33. Call to order the Elderly Affairs Committee. Roll call.
Dottie Wicks,
Here.
Luis Suarez,
Here.
Nancy Rogers,
Here.
Jacqueline De Vera,
Here.
Omaida Bambost,
I think she's here.
Jessica's here, Brenda Escobar,
No,
Alexandra Alonso,
no.
Pedro
Here.
Piallo, Xiomara Castilla, Rosario Navarro, Sarah Suarez,
Here.
Maria Perdomo,
Here.
Lourdes Corvo.
Okay, have you all read the minutes from the last meeting? Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, second. Did you want to bring up your comment?
I do, I think.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I don't know, we have a problem with some of the elderly citizens that we have that get either abused or accosted by neighbors. We need to set up some kind of, I know that nobody breaks the law, but I've gone to the police twice on a certain person, and there's really nothing that they can do. They go by there, they knock on the door, if he doesn't come out, they don't even speak to him. So there's nothing that they really do. The fire department, in my case, says that they're not really breaking the law. The association doesn't get involved because they might be scared of him. I don't know why. So then my client cannot park any visitors in her parking lot. A fire department cannot go to her house because they don't fit. We should set up, or in the future, because I know I can't do it now, set up some kind of something that we can follow through on these cases, because it's terrible to live next to somebody that you feel threatened. As a 90-year-old, not as a young person, because I'm a young person, I'll ram my car down his and push it in the lake and we're done. And then they'll sue me, but we'll be done. But
That's on the record.
well, that's okay. If I do it, it's true. I mean, I did it.
You're
But
guilty.
when you're 90,
No, I know what you're saying.
and like I said, nobody here can do anything. I can't figure that out for the life
I've
of
been
me.
dealing with it for 23 years.
That's why I told you. it was-
Please, raise your hands.
I did,
She did. But I didn't recognize you.
sorry.
Officer Amador, since you're here,
Hi, good morning, everyone.
good morning. I know you were going to speak. You.
Wow. Let's get my meeting a little bit quicker.
Would you stand up for just 1 minute?
Yes, yes.
And for record, could you announce yourself?
Yes, good morning, everyone. Officer Amador. I am one's replacement really, so that was
Tough shoes.
right. Tough shoes too. Well, we're here for the special needs committee to talk about that, but if you want to talk about something else.
Yeah, if you could just give us some advice on this and then I can recognize you back.
Yeah, I think that the best thing that we can do is do it on a case-by-case basis. So I'm gonna give you my card, send me an email, right, with everything that's happening specifically at the location that is happening. Because then we'll do is we'll set up a meeting with the detective to see if there's anything else that can be done. Because what you're saying a lot in one area. You're saying that, you know, there's a person that's been harassed. It's been happening for a long time. The police has called out, well, and that nobody's doing anything about it. Well, something has to be done about it, right? If we can, if legally we are allowed to. So there has to be a way of, or if not, maybe code enforcement, because we've done that before in the past where
Well-
we found where if we can do it, who can actually go and say, okay, this is what we're gonna do.
Well, the biggest problem that I see here, like I said, this particular issue, I mean, if you look at the property and you go on Google Earth for every day, for the last 10 years. This is the other house, this is the lake. He parks his car right here. So if an ambulance came, they couldn't park it. If a fire truck came, can't pivot there. So I don't understand how nobody can get involved. But you're right, give me that, and I found out that I went on there every day last week. A police officer said, oh, there's nothing we can do. One guy told me I was exaggerating. Then they went out there twice. Knocked on the door, he doesn't answer the phone, the door, because he's one of those people that believes that the government is changing his thought process, and then he told the neighbors that they're all trying to do stuff to him. Maybe there's something dangerous, I don't know. So then that has to somewhere along the line be a safety issue. But I will do it. You give me a call.
I'd like to ask Officer Amador a question, or you a question, whoever can answer it. Rosario, I'm familiar with the Baker Act. So at what point is he a danger to himself or others? Does he, my question is, does he live by himself? And the car blocking fire or whatever, maybe you have to put a sign up, no parking near fire zone or whatever. I'm just
Right.
making suggestions.
Right,
But the association will
Won't do
take
anything.
certain, they're gonna have to at some point, because if I lived over there, I'd want a fire truck to get.
that's the
That's
issue.
what I want.
Or an
And
ambulance
it's a safety issue.
to the
So-
age, I know who you're talking about.
You know what?
You need an ambulance,
He's 90.
so I,
Yeah.
The person's illegally parked.
Well, they say because it's a private street, that they want, the association told them, and the police, and everybody at the, for him to have the car towed. Last time that she was out there, because I gone under and knocked on the door, he doesn't come out. He did come out, and when he saw her sweeping, he said, we need to end this, we need to solve this. He started telling her so she went inside. That's kind of scary when you're 90. So that's what I'll do, but maybe we should form some kind of group to maybe, to do that. To sit here, write it down, send it to the police, send it to the association, so then they see that there's more. Good, that they can do more, I don't know.
well, I think maybe what we need to do is to draw up something, then bring it back to the committee.
Okay,
Because for all of us sit here and have all the ideas, but we're not gonna come up with
no,
something.
that's fine.
So maybe if those who wants to volunteer with you, I'll help you out.
I like to
And
do that.
Lourdes, you wanna help out too?
Yes.
And then we'll come up with something and then bring it back to the committee. Bring it through law enforcement before it comes back to the committee. And then get it approved and see what we can do.
Can I just say something? You can call Children and Family Services and report what you believe is elderly abuse. And they will start an investigation where a lot of times police officers will not start an investigation. And they take different action than police officers do. So if in fact they feel that the person that is causing these threats may have some mental issues or something like that, and he's an elderly person, they then can seek to do a guardianship over. I mean, there's there's different things that can occur. They can work with the police and say, look, this is. But I can tell you, if you report it to Children and Family Services. they will.
Yes, it might.
I have to put a restriction order against him, but he never showed up in
That's
court,
what he did.
because, ever
And
since,
she's got one too.
and he stays away from me because I gave a class with a policeman. Next time he gets near me, I'm gonna send him to the hospital. I don't care if I spend the rest of my life in jail. I understand that I'll get roof, clothes, and food for free,
Okay,
so it ain't a bad place.
Yeah.
So he better not
Yeah,
get
you need
close
to do
to.
something.
okay, well, we got something to start with and then maybe see how that works out and then we'll go from there. Okay, Officer Amador, you have something to say to us today?
Amador?
I know, Jesse?
We're
Well, hello, I'm Jessie Orellana.
Yeah.
I'm Jessie, well, just say me Orellana, but I go by Jessie. I'm part of the Special Needs Advisory Board. I'm the treasurer. And we're here today to speak on the special needs registry. And Officer Amador is the perfect person to speak about it because he's the one that oversees it. And when we hear special needs, maybe we're thinking, just maybe children, but we know that the elderly many times also have special needs. There's mental health, maybe dementia, Alzheimer's, or different situations. And we really want to urge you, my son has special needs, he's registered, and this is important because when they go out to the homes for first responders, they'll know that there is someone that has a special need, and they'll know how to better handle the situation. We've seen in the past how things have happened because they've shown up to a home and maybe there's someone there. For example, it's come out in the news with autism, and they've shot at them because they see that they get scared and they start to run away and they don't understand what's going on. They're nudging at them. Now, if they already have it registered, they know what they're going to maybe face and they're already prepared. So they handle the situation differently. I'll pass it over to Officer Amador. Pleasure being here.
Yeah.
This is only for Miami-Dade or?
Miami-Dade. They have it in other counties also, or at different cities, but this one specific is Miami-Dade. Only Miami-Dade's resident.
Yeah, that's probably the best question, because that's the thing that it's contained to the town. Not even the district, not even, and Hialeah has their own thing, but it's the town of Miami-Dade. So we've had a lot of events where people come up, oh my God, I love this is great. My kids can benefit from it. Oh, perfect, here's your application. Oh, where do you live? Oh, I live in Hialeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't do anything for you. Then it's, half an hour trying to figure out how we can help them out with other programs, and kind of like what we're doing now. We're trying to figure out, if we can't do it, how can we help somebody out, unfortunately, because they're so happy about it, they never knew that anything like that existed, but now there's something like that.
Okay. So that if we see somebody that needs, how do we refer them to you? How does this?
Yeah,
work?
so we're here for, it's twofold. One is so that you guys can divulge information, right? And another thing is, it might be beneficial to somebody, because what's happening is we're having a lot of like younger kids and family members are coming in, they're registered, and it's young kids, which is great because we need whoever needs the program. But what happens too is I don't have not one elderly person that's registered on the program. And we have calls all the time where an elderly person has dementia, they have Alzheimer's, and they're walking on the street, and we find them. A lot of times we're finding them. We have a gentleman here by Main Street. We find him first. Now we know, because we found him so many times, we know where he goes and right? But every time I get a word, I give them the application, which I'll send the application around so you get it. I give them the application to the family members, and they never apply. But every time, listen, guys, remember, we're here. So we already know who the person is, but it's one person, one elderly person that we know. What if there's an officer that doesn't know who he is? Or because he's walking down the street, he looks like he's okay, but we already know that, he's walking away. We have ways of, and I'll explain how it works so that you guys can ask me anything at the end. There's an application. The application comes through, it gets processed. When the person is put into the system, their name and information is put into our system in headquarters. So if there's a call to that location, to that home, the first thing that pops up is we have that special needs person at the home for anything police related. So any 911 and fire too. We had one where the gentleman in the house, the father, was having a heart issue, and automatically it came up that there was a special needs person in the house. It wasn't related to the kid. But when the officers got there, and I tell you because she told me, please share this because it was great for them. When the officers got there, they actually went to the kid and wanted to make sure he was okay. And they didn't neglect the father, but they were like, okay, we need to concentrate on him because we know that he's gonna go through a traumatic event by seeing his father like that. So they were able to console and all the works with him. And then fire came and spoke to the dad and did what they had to do. So, it works in that sense, but it's not just a phone call. We have stickers that we give out that you can put in front of the house, a window, car, wherever you like, where the sticker, this type of sticker shows the officer, well, there's a special needs person in the house. And the band that I'm wearing, that if they choose to wear it and we see them, there's a number on it and it's specific to that person. So when the officers see the number, they check, oh, it's so and so that lives at such and such place, this is the phone number, so all the information is already registered there for us. It's just information for the officers to be able to have, so that we can.
Great, I did.
Very good.
That's very good.
Yes, Lourdes,
Um,
I'm sorry.
I think Nancy was first.
yes, it was.
Oh,
Yes.
Who would register?
Jackie, you need to raise your hand.
What?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Nancy raised hers first.
They were
Yeah,
acknowledging me, it doesn't. I just wanted to make sure I'm understanding the green wristband and the special needs person is wearing that green wristband.
If they choose to, yes.
If they choose to, if they remember to, and that.
Yeah,
thing when they
and
go to that. But
Now
you're
some
doing
parents usually try to
something
push
to
their kids.
recognize. And I think that's good. The question I had was, if you had a sticker. When I raised my hand earlier, I was gonna ask about the sticker, but he spoke up about it, so.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to give you.
I think you need to let more of us know about that sticker. Ordinarily, we're not going to the house, usually the police are, and it's, they're already advised to look for that sticker, but I would also like this to be mentioned more often to,
You know-
to the residents, so if your next door neighbor, if you see that, you know what it is automatically.
You made a very important point. We thought that everybody, because this has been a year already, and it was blasted on social media, we already have registrants, so we came as a reminder, right? We're not here as oh, this is the first time you guys should hear about it. It's just a reminder that this is happening and to continue. Now we have a special needs month coming up, so we're gonna, I guess, go to all the right committees, because if they don't know about it, then yeah, we need to go to all the committees. Yes, thank you, Nancy. Yes, yes, of course.
If not anybody else on the team.
What is this public
It's got
safety?
me.
Actually, I have a-
Okay,
Okay.
thank you, Dottie.
You're welcome.
Other than a family member, who has the authority to register that person?
Anybody that has a
Attorney,
power attorney, thank you so much.
medical authority.
Medical attorney, yeah, power attorney, yes.
Are you also registering people with mental disabilities? If they're schizophrenic, or if they're bipolar or things of that nature, or
The
it's
thing about the program is that it's any person that wants to register with any amount of information. The only thing that we need is an address and a person's name, date of birth, everything, because it's a form with a lot of information. We don't need any of that. We just need name, persons, and what they have, so that we know how to approach it. That's it.
very
Completely voluntary, right? We had an issue already. We're gonna sit down with the grants about it, with the stickers, where this is, we don't allow stickers to be put in front of our doors, our windows, so that's fine. But we're not gonna stop them from registering because they can't put a sticker in the door. That's just a separate bonus or added feature of the program. We're not gonna stop them from doing that, because that's kind of the way that it came out, and they don't want that either. They advise, no, we don't want this, just we don't want the residents to start putting stickers in front of our doors, and they're not supposed to. And then kind of because the program is condoned by the town and is through the town and all that.
Leonora, you had a question.
Yes, I have a 98-year-old mother that lives with me. And she doesn't have any kind of like dementia. She does have dementia, but like she's not aggressive. She doesn't have, behavioral problems or anything like that. Should I register her?
She's wheelchair bound.
Well, she has a special need in a way, right? Because of what you're
Right,
saying,
right.
I would only because what happens is if you call 911, it's gonna show up that she's there and she has a specific need.
Okay.
That's why the program is very open, right? It started with mostly just special needs children and autism, but it's not that. It's everything. It's anybody that has a special. And we make clear that that's how the committee wants to handle that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
But really, this is the first time that I'm here.
me too.
Yeah.
And I don't know if can we hand out these flyers in our meeting or, open, people know.
We're also, the committee's also starting to, well, finalizing a card, something like this type of card like that with the QR code and information, something a little bit easier than just paper, like this, or this is something nicer. So they're in the process of getting that out. I mean, as soon as that's done, what I was planning on doing was going again to all the committees and just, hey, listen, we got these out, but I guess we'll make it more informational, plus we'll give them out as soon as they come.
Just a minute. Our turn.
An idea, is that maybe it should be distributed to the household. And in other words, we know that politicians go knocking on doors and put flyers on all the doors. Just have volunteers that say, okay, I'll do my block, another block, and just agree to do a block and hand them out to everybody, because no one knows who's in that house that may have that issue. And they don't necessarily want to advertise it, because a lot of people are embarrassed or ashamed, especially with mental illnesses. Not so much special needs children, but or adults, but more of the mental illness issues. So if we just hand them out or put them in, the mailbox or on their door, I think it would get the word out, because you say that it's been blasted on social media, but I can tell you, I've never heard of it. I don't go to social media, and I know that there's a lot of people that are my age, which I could be considered elderly. I'm 63 years old. I'm not ashamed of it. I don't sit there and follow Instagram or things of that nature. So I think so it might be something that may be considered, and I would volunteer. I would be willing to pass them out in my. I live in the rural area,
That's
to an area.
But we have spoken about it in our meetings, and we want to do it, it just hasn't quite happened yet. But definitely, we're even changing the flyer too, but like Officer Amador said, we prefer something smaller. I think it's easier to. But most definitely, I mean, I appreciate, the interest. I appreciate, also you willing to help us with that, because we definitely want to get the word out. We see the need, and we want to help our residents in every which way we can, and that's one of the main things that we really want to do.
Give me a second to say one thing. Sure. Because people ask about availability. The applications are online at the special needs, but we have them printed out at the front. I carry them around with me. Not only to give out the application, but for picking up the application. I've come in at 3 a.m. to pick up an application because they don't want to see police cars in front of the house, and that's when the special needs person is sleeping. Hey, I don't have a problem. I'll come in at 3 a.m. So I tell everybody there is no excuse, because I get so many excuses. And then, okay, so what's your situation? Oh, really? Well, no problem. I'm gonna make it happen. Because they're looking for an excuse not to do it, but there's no excuse. If they want to do it, then do it. And again, it's all completely voluntary.
And I can tell you, just as an idea, I've had an elderly woman that clearly was in need of assistance, not rescue need of assistance, but it was clear that she was lost. And I asked her if she would like to sit down, and I asked her where she lived, and I sat her outside because I didn't want anybody to ever accuse me of kidnapping her. I was a criminal defense lawyer for many, many years, so I never wanted to even have that. So I brought a chair out, I sat her out, I gave her water, and I put it on the Ring camera. And immediately they were looking for her in the area, and they were very happy. But something like that, it would be great to be able to call the police, and the police would know where she's from if we put in her name and her date of birth. And, you know, I was just lucky that somebody was looking at the ring camera. Obviously, they were looking for her every which way but loose, but.
Nancy,
Would it be okay and appropriate for this committee? Because we do have so many elderly that our largest audience are our bingo events. Would it be okay? Now, I'm not going to volunteer my buddy here, to have
I'll play
a
bingo. I have no
table,
problem with it.
a table or
if
do
he
it-
came,
love
we
to.
would all sit and listen.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, no little lady.
And I got it first. But the thing is, what I'm saying is, if he, I'm not trying to give you an assignment, but if he came and spoke like he did to us, I think it would be helpful because they're gonna pay attention to this gentleman. Or we could, as an alternative, maybe have a table with the flyers or whatever. And if I have to sit there and try to explain it, I wouldn't do as good a job, of course, but I would volunteer to do that because we need to reach our elderly. They don't realize that maybe they need it, but they might have a neighbor or a brother or sister who needs it. We need to get the word out that this exists and something can be done. So that's what I'm asking, as our biggest audience is elderly at our bingo events, which is next Wednesday.
I was just getting ready to say that. Would
Okay.
you like to come and speak? We'll have a table for you with, if you want to bring on any brochures, anything, we would be more than happy to have you here.
Absolutely.
Okay, then we start at 8:30.
Can I play?
You sure can. Hey, why not?
8:30.
I'm sorry, that 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
11.
I started at 8:30.
I was gonna say,
He doesn't start till 11.
Yeah, and it's about a hundred and.
We have 100, usually 100, well, we have 130, please, everybody.
Wow.
We have 130 that are on it and they're, signed up. But out of that, we probably will have 100 because we have some that pick up and some that we deliver.
Makes no change. Yeah.
So,
When we deliver, maybe we
The cards.
stick with the bag.
yes.
No, I just want to say that I really think it's a great idea, because like in my case, I never pay attention to this, because I always thought that it had to do with children.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Me
special
too.
needs, I heard of it, but I
Yeah,
never really pay attention.
We're getting a lot of that.
Children with disabilities.
We're getting a lot of that, and we want to reflect also on the card that it's not only for children. It's for everybody that has special needs.
And I
We
think,
have adults that are in their 30s and in the program, so not for kids or for elderly or it's for everybody. Now, one thing for, you said next Wednesday,
next Wednesday,
we haven't had the cards done yet. We think that maybe if we can push it for the following Wednesday of next month,
29,
the 29th of
22nd.
yeah,
of
29.
March.
You'll
that
hear
would-
about
that
it
would
in a
help. I mean, I'll give you my card for the email.
Find out, I just found out. Yes, CMR.
Yes, I think I would like to have this one to put in my office. I think these are better. People can see them more if I put them like in the reception desk than those, so. you
Like
know,
actual papers.
I can, yeah.
Yeah,
can
well, I
do
have
that.
more here. I have one here. But actually, if anybody else wants more, I mean, we have, and yeah, and there's this is a papers. Thank you.
Thank you.
But yeah. Because everything else. We just keep on.
We got one here, but the rest.
And then the easy thing about those is, yes, you can make a copy and we'll print. Well, we'll make the copies and we'll have them too, because, you know, ink is expensive. And we'll make all the copies. We have tons of them. Right? The town is very good about all those things. They're always very open to, yeah, whatever you guys need.
Because I already have somebody in mind too.
And again, the applications are here in the station and online. If somebody reaches out to me and they need an application brought to them, then I'll take them. Like the gentleman that I went to his house at 3 a.m. I also had to take the application to them because unfortunately they weren't able to come and pick it up, so I took the application and picked it up from them. At home at odd hours, you could say it was 3 a.m, but it was fine, it happened. I was given complete openness to do anything that needs to be done for the program to work.
I want to thank you, sir.
No, thank you.
Coming, I really appreciate it. I've known about the committee for so long, but wasn't really sure what they did, and I'm really appreciate you coming and explaining, and we can work together. Because we're both got people that need help.
This was a brainchild of a person from the committee, and then everybody took it and pushed it and pushed it and pushed it. Because Pembroke Pines was the one that started it, and they're the only ones that have anything like this. And then the town took it now. Hialeah is doing something similar.
Yeah.
I think countywide is gonna eventually happen, but nothing like that has been done in the county before, which we get a lot of calls from people that aren't from the town, and unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it because it is set to the demographic of the town. So PSN is a big one. We get a lot of calls from, because they think they're kind of from the town, Miami Lakes. No, it says Miami Lakes, I understand, but it's the town, yeah. It's the town of Miami Lakes, which is
That road
incorporated.
that goes down
So, yeah.
the dividing road. Yes, Nancy.
Real quick, when is our next committee chair meeting? And perhaps you could come and.
It's quarterly, but I don't know which quarter we're on.
That's, I know, but perhaps we can find out and I can let Robin know.
He's gonna find out for us and let us know. He's
Okay,
writing it down now.
but
I'm
so
sorry.
you all kind of agree with that in that you don't want to talk to just elderly affairs, just get the word out. We have a committee chair meeting and you could do a quick presentation.
We'll put you on the agenda for that.
When it was first launched, one said the first month and the second one, we did that. I spoke at the chair, yeah, I did. Well, we can do that, plus, but we're gonna go to all the committees. Definitely, we have to go to all the committees, yeah, every one. I'm gonna be there anyways at the committee meeting, so. So.
And personally, I love the feedback. I love to hear different ideas because like you said, there's special needs in every committee somehow, some way, and we're in the town. We want to help the town in any way we can. So the ideas are great, and again, thank you. Appreciate it.
Let our citizens know we care about them
Yes.
and their families.
I don't come to this
We noticed.
meeting because I'm supposed to be at a meeting in Doral at the same time every time you guys have your meeting. So this is the situation that I have. But like today, this was pre-planned. I'm gonna get to my meeting late. They understand there's not a problem. I can't be there late every time.
No.
But if there's something like, for instance, what the situation that the young lady over here was talking about. I would love to be here to see if there's something that we can do about it. So, but I just need to be told, listen, please come to the meeting. That way I can advise them, and just like we did today, it's not a problem.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Everywhere. You're gonna start thinking things, right?
Feel free to
I'm
reach out
trying
if
to
you
get
have
Matt
any other
to
questions.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, let's bring the meeting back to order, please. Okay, please. I want to remind everybody of something right now, because we see we had some problems here. If you want to be heard, you raise, that doesn't mean you talk. You raise your hand, I recognize you. I had 5 people at one time with their hands up, and I got a few dirty looks because they wouldn't recognize her. I tried to see who raised their hand first. So eventually I'll get to you, but you raise your hand, I'll recognize you, okay? Especially when we have company like this, and we like to make them think we are organized and know what we're doing. Okay, let's move on. That was our presentation. All right, treasurer's report.
The budget available, it says actual, right, 35,426.72, but then it says available budget, $5,253.28.
I don't understand that.
So how does that work?
Actuals are just your expenditures.
For the month,
For the year?
For the year.
When did our year start? October.
October 1.
So we already spent $35,000? I don't explain this, 19,000?
that's why I wanted.
It doesn't make any sense how your actuals are not your availables. Maybe that should have a different name.
Well, that's why I wanted to get with you and get with Isle and discuss this, because I have to go before the council in April, beginning of April, and I don't understand that, so.
No, because that word, it should be some other name. Because it doesn't make any sense.
I may help.
Yes, Nancy.
I have the same issue, actuals, availables. I get this thing in front of me. I don't know what the heck it means. I try to get an answer. But I will try to clear it up a little bit in that, especially if we're paying for something with a credit card, or like I will run around for my committee and pay for things with a credit card. That bill doesn't come in right away. So your actual and your available, don't ask me to explain the difference between the two. I'm only saying how it happens is how the bill comes in, how long it takes to be confirmed, verified and paid and all that. That's why you get two figures. That's as much as I can explain. Don't ask me which one's the difference. Perhaps Jonathan can clarify that.
Can you, Jonathan?
My understanding of it all, and I do agree that the word actual is kind of, I guess, unhelpful for the most part. That is the expenditure. So, when you talk about it might not being, synchronized because of a credit card that hasn't posted, that's just something you can't see. That doesn't really have much to do with the.
Right, but my question is, if we only have 5,000, it says actual budget. That means how much we have left to go to the rest of the year until next September? And I've already spent 35,000? That's why I wanted to get with her, because if I've only got $5,000 left for the rest of the year, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Yes,
I just don't see, I understand what she's saying.
I do too.
That will make it look like there's $35,000 in limbo. Unpaid, bought stuff, but unpaid stuff, that cannot be.
But if you look at the
Well,
original,
understandable.
the original budget was 33,000, yet actual is 35. Is that adding in all our
That doesn't make any, that's. just-
donations or sponsors give us? So that's why I want to get with Isle and get this really understandable.
I
Yeah.
think, if I may, I'm sorry,
Okay.
I think this is from last year, because I'm seeing at the top left from 2022-01 to
We're good at
2022-12. Right.
Yes,
I'm actually,
you're
I
right.
just noticed, so I'm pulling up from 2023 and the available budget. I know you guys can't see it, so I apologize.
No, it's right here. From two.
What I'm looking at says available budget of 20,000.
Okay, then this is. another-
So, yeah.
Oh, you think somebody. Okay.
Yes,
I think the person who produces the report, and I don't mean to say that Isle's not the right person to speak to, but I think it's accounting who produces this report. And I believe that we should get together with accounting.
through Isle. I don't want to go over anybody's head.
We'll ask
Yeah.
Isle
Right.
to create a meeting with accounting so that they can really explain it, because
Walk through it.
Yeah.
through it, because if it's coming from, you're getting it, through word of mouth, through word of mouth, through word of mouth, and it's obviously gonna be not explained,
Lost in translation.
lost in translation. So I think the better thing is to ask Isle to have a meeting with whoever is producing or inputting these numbers and can actually explain how they're done.
Okay, do you want
This
to,
is wrong.
huh?
It's the reason is that this really should never be here, because this is wrong. It's the
So
wrong.
maybe
line.
you can, in your notes to Isle, and she can get back with us to set up a meeting so we
I
can figure
think-
this all out.
I think a specific meeting could help, but I think budget right now is going to look at, especially around budget season, when we're talking about new line items or whatever for the next year. She is planning on explaining things more thoroughly. So maybe that could be a good time to.
We just need a new one.
And when we.
And that would be in April anyway, so,
Yeah, that'd be April.
but the, yeah, I'll let Alan them know.
Okay, great. Comments from the chair. Isle and I had a meeting with Mount Sinai, I think it was Monday. And, they're going to be doing some forms. They already did one, which I understand I couldn't go. It was well attended and every senior that went to it commented it was great. Going back before COVID, Mount Sinai did something called, I'm trying to think of the word. It was, we did it over at the Schulis, the dining room, and it was set up where they had tables where each person, each senior, whoever came in, they had their blood pressure checked, the cholesterol, and then they would get the results. Probably by mail if it wasn't urgent, right? Then they cut something they couldn't detect right then. And then they would advise them to get with their doctor. Well, I brought this up. This lady that I was talking to was not there at the time. She thought it was a good idea. She said she would have to check into it. It may be done at the health fair. Or not, if she can get all the answers together, they may do it at the health fair instead of at one of our forums. She also asked, is there any special thing anybody on your committee would like us to talk about because they've got forums set through May. Because during the summer, they don't have to do any, but they got some during each month. Lourdes.
I think a good one would be diabetes.
Okay.
To really focus on, diet, so with a nutritionist. And things of that nature, all related to diabetes.
Okay, that's good. Nancy?
Cholesterol. BP,
What did you say?
cholesterol.
Cholesterol.
And your question was what topics to talk about or what type of on-site testing they would do at this event, or is that included?
No,
In what
these
we're
here are
asking them to do.
individual, these are individual ones that they have. They come out and speak once a month they started last month. Each month they come out through May and they want a different subject and they would like suggestions from us. What did we want?
So
I have
it's
these
just
two
topics to speak
To
about,
speak about.
not to do the specific
The
testing.
specific is they're trying to see if they can get the people they need to do it, because you have to have special people there to take the blood, to do this, to do this, and do this. If they can all get it together, they can't get it for the health fair, they may do it on one of the forms. So we're in between right now,
So
they're
you're
working
considering
on.
possibly both.
Yes. The diabetes and the cholesterol, we can definitely say we can do, because they ask for a doctor for each one of those. We can have one for March and one for April. They may have the other one at the health fair. We're not sure yet because of the specific people that she needs. They don't usually work on Saturdays, which are health fairs on a Saturday. They usually work the week where these other forums come. So it was something that she's working on. She'll get back with us. But I just wanted you to know what I was discussing with Mount Sinai, because they came to us saying, what can we do for you? So I brought it to committee and you can give those to Isle because she speaks to, I can't think of the lady's name right now, but we just spoke on Monday. So she can say these are for the next two forms. We can use either one of the diabetes or the cholesterol. Okay. Is there any old business? Anybody? Yes.
Can we go back to the minutes? I'm sorry, I think I was late. For the correction in the minutes,
Yes, we asked and nobody.
Right, where this, my name is misspelled on the February 1st, 2023,
Page 7.
page 7.
No, I see it.
On January 4th, Luis Suarez, has been named as absent and present in the role.
Wait,
So Tamara, where is your name misspelled? Can you spell your correct name, please? 'Cause I got it from the
January
second sheet.
4th, 23, Luis Suarez is in both, present and absent.
Oh, okay, I didn't do those minutes, so I don't know.
No, I'm not saying,
No, but
we need to correct them.
we, all right, but we're correcting 2 minutes. They should be corrected at the next meeting, then, like, now we're correcting last month. If you go back 2 months, then it's gonna be hard to get things corrected. So we have to, that's why they sent out to you, and when people come in, I say, read the minutes, make sure they're okay. If there's any corrections, bring it up in the meeting. So I'll give you guys more time, since some of you get ahead of time, but do read them, it's important. And if there's corrections, your name is spelled wrong, or there's a date, or you were there and it says you weren't there, let us know. Because especially with the absentees, we have to keep track of those. That's part of our job. We have to. If you have to have 3, then it has to be approved by going back and through all the work we have to do. So does everybody understand that?
Let me ask,
Yeah.
Yes,
if we lower the amount of people, then we also lower the amount that we need for the form.
What do you,
If,
oh, I see what you're saying. Yes.
then we should, the people that don't come, we should get rid of them. So then we don't need as many. every
But
meeting.
the problem, you have to have missed 3 meetings. But this, we just started in January. It wipes out in December and it starts over in January.
Okay, so.
So then if you, it starts out, if you have 3, yes, ma'am.
It doesn't start off in January, it starts off at the fiscal year, I believe.
I was told it was January.
Also, the committee rules change, so.
Right, you're not raising your hands, please, go ahead. No, I'm not, I'm, yeah, I'm probably- No, I was told it was January, but if I'm incorrect, I need to know.
With the committee rule change, there's no 3 strikes you're out. It's really if it's becoming a nuisance or if you're not meeting quorum.
So then,
Right, it's really up to the chair and I guess the committee as a whole to decide, okay, we're having an issue. There's like the problem child, if you want to see it like that.
Okay, so they're putting the responsibility on us then,
It's, yeah, it's, if it's becoming an issue, yeah.
if it's becoming, yeah.
yeah, because then it changes the structure, because then instead of needing 11, we might need 8. So it makes it easier for us to function. Like if you don't come and if you never show up, why are you on
Why
it?
isn't your name, there's 1 on there on the.
No, there's 2.
Well, there's 2, but Ada, I hated throwing her off the committee.
No, but
because-
that's different.
Okay,
But I'm saying, is Brenda is still?
she just called and she said, she was here at the last meeting.
Is
she
Alexandra still gonna come?
Who? I
Alexandra,
have no idea.
if she's not gonna come,
Well, that's something that our committee needs to think of now.
address it.
Is it something that we want to ask her to resign, or I don't know what what is the procedure? Just a moment, what is the procedure on that now?
Well,
Does it come to a vote from the committee?
no, you, at your discretion, and that's not, it is a big. you know,
Terrible, it puts a.
But it's really, I mean, you guys are discussing it now, which is the proper way that I would imagine it be done. You discuss it and
All right, if we discuss it and we decide, all right, we need to remove this person. We go back to Isle and say, you need to notify this person. I don't want to be the
I
one.
think what we briefly touched on was perhaps the clerk notifying the appointing council member,
Okay.
and that council member reaching
Okay.
out and saying, are you okay? Do you still, commitment to the committee? So I can reach out to the clerk's office, or if you guys want to ask Isle to reach out to the clerk's office,
Okay, all right.
I think
At
that's
least
more.
we had no guidelines before, and before it was by Isle and she seemed free and I think, I don't know if she contacted them or what, I think she contacted the department and then they sent something to our call.
So the old process was, we were given the minutes from the secretary, we would update our own. Attendance log based off minutes, so we weren't making the minutes, we would get them, okay, this person was reported absent. Third strike, we would report to the clerk's office.
Okay,
The clerk, they don't verify what we say, they take our word as final because we're working off minutes, so like.
okay,
And
I just wasn't
And then
sure
the
how.
clerk's
that-
office would send an email to
Okay.
the member saying, thank you for your service, a very, very pretty email. When you're top there.
Okay.
Yes, Jim, Marna.
So if you want to resign, you just write it down, you make a letter resigning and the
Right.
reason why.
Resignation,
I'm too pragmatic for this committee.
resignations right now are handled, if someone's letting me know, because if you're resigning,
Yeah, I can put
you're not
that
getting
too.
kicked off, so they're letting us know. Hey, life is a little too busy, I'd like to, step down. I send that email to the clerk's office, and then that's a more automatic removal. Because they're resigning, they let us know it's a much
Yeah,
more,
it's easier.
right?
Yes, Nancy.
The way I remember it, we were just checking to confirm some of it you did, was that we keep the record. And I believe the council person that nominated the absentee person, would be notified. So you're saying you still do that, but what's the order? Like, okay, we determined someone's absent. We only know they didn't show up. Now, at some point, someone needs to contact that person because we do have excused absences. And if we don't know why so-and-so is not here today, and if it's excused or not, that communication has to be made between the liaison, I would think, and the missing member. And then someone has to determine if it's an excused absence, and I don't know where that goes. And then after that, if you are about to say, okay, they've missed 3 in that particular year, you go to the council person, but what that council person can do is say, I want to keep that person on, I renominate and whatever. So that's sort of the process. We might want somebody off of a committee and no offense, guys, hoping, okay, they've got 3, let's get it there. It isn't always going, don't expect that automatically with 3 unexcused absences, the person is off. Council person, my understanding is the council person who nominated that member can override. Thank you, override. Am I correct on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, then that changes what you're saying,
Yeah.
because you said that our committee had the right to remove it if we wanted to.
You have the right
To
to
request.
ask, request that the. Because at the end of the day, the people, they can do whatever they want, and they usually do, and that's usually just an immediate reappointment, which, clearly doesn't work that well. But really quickly, the way we determine excused absence isn't like there's no metric, there's no like checkbox that you have to pick up, it's the person that's missing has to notify the secretary. That's how, so then they can recognize if it's an excused absence, because if the secretary writes down they're absent, but they let me know, and this is a one-off, that's different from absent.
Well, I-
But Jonathan.
Yeah.
Wait,
Well,
no, she had her hand up
But
first.
I'd like to follow up with my question in regard to that, if you don't mind. Is that, so now the onus is on the secretary of this committee to decide if the excuse is good enough or not.
No, it's just,
And it shouldn't be that.
it's just to mark down the conversation that happened.
But you said it goes back to that they notify the secretary.
They're supposed to notify the secretary.
I'll bring it up at a committee chair meeting to get it totally clarified. Because I think that's where I need to get my answers, if you don't mind.
It was discussed in the last chair meeting, and that was very widely discussed. And the thing is that people were upset because they were being terminated automatically and nobody was contacting them for anything. So it was, as far as I remember, it was decided that the council person that nominated that person would be notified if there was problems with people being absent too many times. They would notify them, the council person would contact that person and talk to them and find out what is your problem. You know, are you going through anything? I'm just not to be cutting off people just like that without giving them any chance or being acknowledged for anything, because it was like people got upset because they just got that letter that you're terminated and that's it. So that was what was decided. I mean, I don't know if they're not gonna count the 3 absences anymore, but the council person that nominated that person is the one that is gonna contact them and talk to them and find out if they're interested or not in continuing in the committee or not, or if they were having any issues, temporary issues or whatever, and then it would be decided then.
Yes. I agree with that, but we are all adults.
Yes.
And if we can't pick up the phone, Brenda
Right.
just called me and said, Dottie, I'm very sick. I cannot come today. So we know she's sick. We don't know what you're doing. You just don't want to come because you're all notified of a meeting. And if you can't, you can't come, call and let us know. Don't let us assume that you're sick. And I think we got to put some responsibility out on the committees, not just the secretary or myself or, people like us. We're doing the best we can. We've got a lot of stuff that you guys don't even know how much we're doing. So we have to be responsible and say, call up and say, I'm not going to be able to make it. They have widened it a little bit, and giving that just 3, but we need to let each committee member know that they're responsible for letting us know. So don't get upset with us if you get a call because you never told us you can't come, Yeah.
And I thought that it should go back to her, to the head of the group, not to the council person. Because the council person could have a political reason to keep that person on here. And that's not right. And everybody here has things to do. Everybody has responsibilities. If you can't come, then don't come.
Give me a
Wait,
call,
yeah.
text me, email me.
I'm just saying what was discussed.
No,
in the
I know,
chair
but-
meeting.
yeah, but-
It's not my
Just
position.
a minute now. I know what's discussed. I don't think it was ever put into law because there were people with different opinions on that. And that's why I think what he was just telling me has come up. And I don't totally agree with that either. So I think at the next chair meeting, this really needs to come back and discuss a little bit. Have an idea, because I think it was given to us in a meeting, and we didn't really have time to really think about how is it going to work for us, And then now we're told how it's going to work. I think we need to think about it and think it needs to go back to the chair meeting and let them come back. I think letting the chair have the responsibility of getting you notify the chair you can or can't come. No, I think a few people have, but ones that are absent today did not call me and say I can't make it. So I should then give it to you guys to call them. It shouldn't be my responsibility to call them. It should be you guys to call them. That's how I feel. Yes, Nancy.
Since 2 chairs are present at this meeting,
Richard.
I'm sorry.
Chair.
Thank you.
He is the chair of a committee.
Okay, those who are chairs of the committee, just a straw vote of how you all here would like us chairpersons to bring this up. We do have a meeting, what is it, 3, 4 times a year, whatever it is. And the thing is, I agree with Dottie. I think the process is fantastic. You could call Dottie and say, I'm sorry, I'm sick, or I've got a doctor's appointment, whatever it is. Okay, and then you go from there. Is there any specific process anybody here would like to mention so that Dottie and I get an idea of what the preference is? If you don't mind my asking that, Dottie.
No, that's right.
No, that's fine. It should go back to the chair, not to the council.
Wait, it meaning,
If, let's
The
pretend
absentee.
doesn't come here 3, 4, 5 times, whatever time that you decide. 3 is good, because without calling, there's no excuse for an adult not to show up. It should never go back to the council. it should go to the chair. Hey, we're gonna take this person off. She should say, well, she hasn't called me in 3 months. She should be taken off. Because if it goes back to the politician, it's a circle.
I agree.
And it can't be, because apparently if you pick somebody, you like that person, or if you don't like them, then you're gonna write them off. So that's it should never go back to the council. It should go to the chair. And then whoever has to follow the letter or whatever, because that's not right. I mean, that's what I would bring up. Leave the councilman in.
And you know, the thing is, you can be calling me 3 times and I know you're sick, so you're really excused.
Right.
Or if you're not calling me, I don't know, and that's where the problem's coming up. We all have, we're all adults, we're all adults. We should know you got, you're on this committee, you're not gonna pick up the phone call. Yeah, somebody.
I think 3 strikes and you're out.
Okay.
Because
Without calling?
there's people you never see here. You never see them go to set up the tables. I always see the same people always setting up the tables and doing the dirty work, cleaning up after the bingo and everything.
And then you can.
So
It's something we gotta iron out at the chair meeting, so you can get that. You're getting it tough today.
No,
How about Debbie?
We're breaking you in. All right, let's move on. In the past, the February, the 8th and 22nd bingos were really well. They went well. We had well attended, had some fun and really had a good time. And we went over the policies and procedures and reviewed. We had the approval of Latino Center, I think is coming up.
was
This
that
month sometime. The gentleman that wanted to
Support.
he wanted to have a meeting at, I think it was Roberto Alonso. For, just for the Spanish speaking people. And I had a problem with it. I wasn't here to open my mouth, so I'm just gonna let it go. So, homebound elderly budget. That we did come up with a figure. I did not get the paper because I was not there at the meeting on how much we decided on. Was it decided at the last meeting on how much I had to ask for?
I think so.
$20.
$20?
For meal.
$20 per meal. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was like 7,000.
Only 50. Right now we had 20, we're down to 16. I just had one that passed away last week. And it's kind of close to she was across the street from my sister. So, but we're down to 16 homebound right now.
Yeah, I think it was the amount, I'm sorry. The $20, that included the fare, the taxes,
Everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Getting on to new business, bingos, March the 8th and 22nd. The 22nd has been moved to the 29th. There was a conflict of two committees on the same day and it got overlooked until just recently. So ours has been changed to the 29th. Which, one of those in March, I was gonna have like an Easter party because Easter is early. But on our list that I had handed out, I did this at the beginning of January. I gave it to everybody.
Right.
But I was just now notified that we did not approve it.
Right.
So we lost our Easter party for April the 6th. The next date they could give me was, I think it was the 15th, which will be after Easter. My question is, do we just want to cancel the Easter and we can move it to another party some other time in the year, maybe a 4th of July party or something?
I'm sorry, to interrupt. Are you talking about the senior social?
The social, yeah,
I have it on the calendar for the 14th,
right.
the Friday.
But we,
Okay.
since it's after Easter, I wanted the committee to know we can't do it before Easter. Let's cancel that and we'll move it to a social and then to a different time. We'll decide, somebody wants to get some suggestions. I have to get a date in, so have in your mind what you would like to do for the next meeting, because I'm not gonna ask you to think right now. But for the next meeting, another social, and I'll try to fit it in with a date. But first of all, I need a vote on canceling the April the 15th Easter party.
Motion to cancel.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved.
All that, just wait for it.
So we're gonna have the 8th and the 29th.
The 29th.
Yeah, and I've already updated the calendar, the event already. I don't know if you guys know, there's, I have one press release out that shows the bingos for the whole year. So instead of, bombarding, you can just see, it's like a one-stop shop that I can send out to you guys, so you have
Please.
a reference for it. So it's updated.
Update that one this
It's
year,
already done, yep.
okay? On April the 1st, we have a health fair. And I need volunteers. Usually what I've always done at the health fair is I get a list of who's coming, where they're gonna be sitting. And I tell them like that you're on table 15. Somebody else comes and says, okay, they take them to table 15, show them where it is. We need volunteers. If you can volunteer, please let me know. Because I do need help. Yes,
And it's from,
What's gonna be?
it's at Merrick Collins,
April first.
April 1st.
What time?
what time, the time?
Well, we usually start at 7 o'clock because we have to do the setup
Oh, yes.
and everything, get ready, put the chairs up. Because there's some people, depending on how much you pay, get inside and it's got the chairs and the tables and all, plus the other 2 rooms. And then they have the outside too, where usually the food and things like that and other. Yes, ma'am.
7 a.m.
Remember last time we promised?
Please
Yeah.
don't talk amongst yourselves. Yes, ma'am.
Remember last time the promise with the stickers, that only the people in the $1,000 got the stickers for that bingo card? Remember that they walk around? Make sure that everybody gets to put a sticker.
Oh, okay.
Remember that
Yes.
became, people got angry that their booth didn't have a sticker to give, and please make sure that
Make
everybody,
sure you did. Thank you.
everybody gets a
That
sticker.
was
That was a
very
problem.
important last time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
That
That
we
was
are friends,
terrible.
all the vendors should be
Should be
there.
able, whether they paid $5 or $100. Maybe a smaller sticker or a bigger sticker, but everybody knows.
Everybody gets this, because that was recognized, that, just a minute,
7 a.m. or 7 p.m.
pardon?
Right?
They say at 7 p.m. or a.m.
AM, well, it starts in
Oh,
the morning,
AM, good.
yeah, never at night, in the morning.
I
Okay,
like 7 a.m.
okay, but, yes, I did.
What time does it start for the public? If setup is 7 a.m., what,
I don't know what time they start, I've had them given to me, let me see if he knows.
That's a mess. I remember the last time we did it.
Ours, 7 AM
I
because
have 10 a.m.
10 AM it
That's
starts,
the public's
but
right.
it's a lot getting everything set up and the chairs and out, especially outside is, it is, and we hope it doesn't rain.
Is that 10 to 2 for the public?
It's 10 to 1.
10 to 1.
That's
I think
what
I
I
can
told
work.
So one.
For the public.
Yeah, we'll be done.
And that's already been circulated public. I think right now we're just. I'll know about the bingo card.
Yeah,
I
make
think
sure
I'm
that
just
was
gonna-
a,
I'm gonna preempt any,
I'm sorry, we had people that came and complained
Oh, yes.
that they were angry, because they paid what the least amount, but they thought they would still get people.
I'll make sure, because I think since the sponsorship packet has already been going out. If they have to modify the value, I guess, I know.
Yeah,
I'm just.
Because that was
thinking
a
of
problem.
Andy's-
Received any information about it.
About the health fair?
Yeah.
Okay, oh,
I haven't even,
Yes, and we sponsor.
She gets a big, and you sponsor big time.
yes,
Yeah, me too. I don't know if you already sent the information. I'm okay. We always have a table.
So nobody's standing.
What? A table. For the help.
Meeting with council on April 16th, what time?
that's me. I haven't gotten there yet. We're just on the health fair right now. That's the next subject. That'll be me, April 6th. I'll go through that. So if you're gonna help out, let me know. I've got 2 volunteers right now, so that's 3 volunteers. That'd be great. Moving on,
Just-
meeting,
Make sure there's coffee.
Definitely.
I'm sorry.
Well, I'm saying 7 a.m. They may change that, but it does take a while to get everything set up, and if we don't have,
No, I
this is our event. We need to be, show that we're gonna be working, okay?
Yeah.
All right, April 6th, it's my meeting with the council on the budget. So if there's anything that you guys want me to talk about, I'm gonna be talking about everything that we've done since the last budget meeting with the council. I've got to go back and explain everything. And then, since we are asking for more, another category, then I've got to explain that and why and how much. So if anybody has anything that they feel they would like me to express, please either email me or call me or something, because I'm already started. I've just about got everything from last year worked up on what I have to explain and da-da-da-da-da-da. Yes, Nancy?
I'm sorry, I'm old. You said you have something to add to our budget? And
Yes,
then
the
what
senior,
is that item?
the senior, the homebound.
Okay.
And so, and I'd like that probably by the end of this month, because I gotta get my work into the town so that they can look at it, agree
Yeah,
with me.
oh, there's- I don't think there's an agreement.
Everything has to be
If you
printed
guys-
and
You
everything.
guys vote on it? We do have deadlines though, and I'm sure I was.
Amina,
Yes.
you wanna show that to everybody?
That's beautiful.
Amina's sister made this for us to raffle off at our next bingo. Isn't it beautiful?
Yes.
We're gonna be raffling this off at the next bingo, so we can make some money.
He is legally blind.
She did awesome.
She likes all those things. I
Make sure I have some tickets for we got.
don't have the patience. Never
I
had.
should
It's beautiful.
have to raffle,
It's not-
should raffle for money instead of just getting.
You could do that,
I
Yeah,
think
I
we should
told
do
her.
that.
$1,
You
anything.
just call me.
$1 a ticket.
We allowed to do that?
Now, does anybody have anything, please? You want to say something?
I just want to say thank to, Piaggio, for inviting us to the veteran barbecue that we went, my, me, and Brenda went over last Sunday.
When was that?
That was last Sunday, you wasn't here.
Oh, I couldn't make it. on Sunday.
Yeah. It was a barbecue with the veteran choir. So we was there. Was
Good.
amazing.
It turned out good?
Yeah, it was.
That's great.
we was
They
representing
dancing
God.
on the group.
Yeah, I try to work with them on
Yeah.
some of that stuff, and some of them I got conflicts with other stuff, some of the stuff I do. But we had one other one he did,
Okay, now you're in.
at the event, Roberto Alonso, yes, Roberto Alonso.
Yeah, it was good. They mentioned us and everything, the events.
I try to work with them as much as I can.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
if there's nothing further, does somebody want to move to adjourn? Okay. All in favor? Yeah, thank you. It was a happy meeting today. We had been busy.
All these are.